Good evening, parents and students. It is now 7 o'clock and Our Lady of Lourdes Grade 8 parent session has started. Please note that this session is being recorded and the video will be posted on the school website by the end of this week. There will be an opportunity to ask questions during the session on the session Padlet, and we will review how to access the Padlet during the greetings and welcome. The Padlet will be monitored by school department heads and questions will be answered at the end of the formal presentation. We will start tonight's session with an opening prayer by school chaplain, Mrs. Krista Nolan. At the conclusion of the prayer, Mrs. Nolan will describe the faith development at Our Lady of Lourdes. School principal, Mrs. Betty Farrell, will then formally welcome you all to tonight's event and will host the rest of the evening. So we will start now with the opening prayer.
Good evening. My name is Krista Nolan and I'm the teacher chaplain at Our Lady of Lourdes, and I'm happy to be able to share our opening prayer with you this evening. Hopefully you can see my picture in the bottom of your screen so that you can put a face to the name and the voice. And we'll begin with our opening prayer. So I have a quote here to start from Mother Teresa, St. Teresa of Calcutta. And then the prayer is actually a song and a video that talks about being able to see the face of God in everything and everyone. And that's a theme that I will continue to pick up as we talk a little bit about faith development at Lourdes. So the quote here from Mother Teresa: seeking the face of God in everything, everyone, all the time, and his hand in every happening. This is what it means to be contemplative in the heart of the world. So we begin our prayer this evening in the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit.
I'll catch your smile on someone's face, your whisper in the wind's embrace. Through diamond stars and songs and dreams, I find your love in everything. The sun, the sky, the rolling seas all conspire to comfort me. From sorrow's edge, life's beauty seems to find your love in everything. I've come to trust the hope it brings, to find your love in everything. Even as I fall apart, even through my shattered heart, I'll catch your smile on someone's face. Amazing grace.
I like looking at all the faces in that video and remarking about how quickly time passes. Those are amalgamation you may have noticed if you know some of those faces from a lot of different years. And we have Emily Case as a student and then Emily Case as a teacher. And some of those students that I now know are graduated and finished university and off doing all kinds of things. So this time in high school goes very quickly. Let's pray together. Lord God, Bless our gathering tonight as we meet virtually with our grade 8 students and their families. Watch over them as they finish their grade 8 year and guide them as they prepare for next year. Help us to seek your face in each person we encounter this evening and always, and give us strength in the knowledge that you are always near. Our Lady of Lourdes, pray for us. In the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen. Hello again. I have a few moments to speak with you about faith development at Lourdes, and I liked this picture on the screen because it evokes to me the idea of journeying together. And as I mentioned in the opening prayer, this time at Lourdes goes by very quickly for students. 4 years is very quick compared to the 9 or 10 years of elementary school. And we're privileged to be able to walk with students during this time, and the privilege of Catholic education is we're able to do so in a very faith-centered, explicitly faith-centered way, and be able to talk about our faith, learn about our faith, and really journey together as a community of faith over these 4 years. And I'll start talking with the grade 9 open theology course. It's one of the ways that maybe when we think about how a public school is different from a Catholic school would be that the students take these 4 theology courses, and they can be a little bit of a source of anxiety for students, especially students who may be coming from a different faith background. So for students who have taken theology, they're coming from a Catholic school, they've done their sacraments with the school, and they've taken religion every year, that may not be the case. But for students who are coming from a different faith background, who are coming from a private Christian school perhaps, who are coming from a public school and who have never taken theology, coming into a grade 9 religion class can be a little bit anxiety provoking. And I taught the course for many years, and I always tried to put students' minds at ease and to say to them, we take you where you are, and the prior knowledge is a bonus, but it's not necessary. You can still be successful in this course by engaging with the material in a genuine way, by completing the assignments, and by working on the material from where you're at. And we will lay a foundation that is such that regardless of the faith background that you come with, you are able to be successful in this grade 9 course. So here's a picture of some grade 9s working hard from earlier this year, just before the shutdown, actually, the week before Christmas break, doing an activity in one of the classes. Another element of the faith development program at Lourdes are our retreats. And so here we have a picture of some grade 12 students a couple of years ago, and they are on a retreat at the Ignatius Jesuit Center, which is just on Highway 6 North, just as you're heading out of the city, right by the Catholic cemetery. And we are privileged and fortunate to be able to use the retreat center that is there for our grade 9 and grade 10 and grade 12 retreats. And we participate in a variety of activities. So here we are in this picture, we were on a walk, and we try to go for a long hike at some point during the day. Here are some other grade 12 students, and they're doing some icebreakers. So we do a variety of activities on the day. We have a shared meal together. We spend some time in prayer. We do some group building activities and some icebreakers. We go for the hike. We have some small group conversations, we have time for individual reflection, and we also do some larger group activities. So it's a full day, but it's a great time to be able to get away, spend some time reflecting on our relationship with God and building our relationship with each other. Got a couple pictures here of some students. We had to be a little more creative this year, but these are some grade 9 students doing some retreat activities, socially distanced in the classroom. We engage in a variety of outreach throughout the year, and that comes from our belief that service to others is a primary Christian calling, especially to help the most needy and vulnerable in our community, and that each person that we help is the face of Christ. Each person that we encounter is the face of Christ. So here are some students this year who are helping with the Thanksgiving food drive. And we also had another event another outreach event planned in December. And so we were able to raise money and gather some gently used toys and other items and be able to share some things with our own community. And this is a picture from last year when we had less restrictions and were able to do a garage sale sort of bazaar that raised money for a number of different organizations. And of course, we observe the liturgical year. And those are things that happen in the school, whether it's just simply by the decor, whether it's through our morning prayers, whether it's through gathering as a community to celebrate Mass or to have other types of prayer liturgies. And so here we are at St. Joseph's Church. This is a couple of years ago when we were still able to gather as a large group, and we're celebrating an opening school Mass. And we're fortunate because we have two churches within walking distance, so we're able to go to St. Joe's and also to the Basilica of Our Lady when the weather permits. And then in the colder winter months when walking is not a very reliable option, we have Mass in the school gym. So we're able to gather together multiple times during the school year for prayer and celebration of the various events that occur throughout the year. That was very brief, quick run through, but I know there's a lot of material tonight. So if you do have any questions, feel free to ask myself. If you have questions about the theology program, I'm happy to answer them. As I said, I've taught the course many times. But also another great resource is Bill Flaherty, who is the department head of theology. So either one of us are happy to answer any questions or address any concerns that you may have.
We will now hear from Mrs. Betty Farrell with some words of welcome. Mrs. Farrell, your microphone is muted.
Still learning. Good evening, everyone. Thank you, Ms. Nolan, for leading us in that lovely prayer and a brief, but lots of pictures, and pictures tell 1,000 words, right, of our program here at Lourdes. Also want to thank Mr. Louis Gomes before we get too far into the night, and he heads our IT department, and he's helping us out with this presentation, reminding us to turn our mics on as well. All right, so good evening, grade 8 students and your families. You are our Lourdes class of 2025, and we welcome you and your families to our grade 8 information night. So as mentioned, my name is Mrs. Farrell, and I am the principal here at Our Lady of Lourdes. So to begin my welcome, I would like to acknowledge the ancestral and treaty land on which this virtual meeting is being broadcast. And so I'll begin with our acknowledgement. So from the Anishinaabe to the Haudenosaunee and the Métis, these treaty lands are steeped in rich Indigenous history and modern traditions. As a community, we have the responsibility to honor and respect the 4 directions: land, waters, plants, animals, and ancestors. Today, this area is home to many Indigenous peoples from across Turtle Island. We would like to acknowledge that we are gathered on the ancestral and treaty lands of the Mississaugas, of the Credit First Nation, of the Anishinaabe peoples, and we'd like to express our gratitude for sharing these lands for our mutual benefit. So right up on the screen right now, you'll see that we have a Padlet, and this Padlet was sent out through your school principals today. A link to the Padlet, and just a little quick run through on how you do this. There's a little pink circle on the bottom right hand corner. You click the little pink circle, and if you have a question at any time throughout the presentation, just simply type in your question, and then when we get to the end of the presentation, we'll look at the questions and try to provide the answers for you right away. Or at least we'll connect you with someone. If it's a really complex answer, then we'll connect you with somebody that can follow up with you. All right, so tonight you're going to hear many great things about Our Lady of Lourdes, and we are thrilled that your child is planning to come to our school and continue their Catholic education. We wholly believe that students who graduate from Lourdes have all the knowledge and skills necessary to tackle the world and at the same time to have a strong sense of self, a commitment to serving others, and a deep faith which will sustain them through good times and times of distress. So what's so great about Lourdes? Well, our students will tell you that our community is diverse, yet we are inclusive. Everyone who walks through our doors is a child of God, and therefore we know we have a moral duty to provide the best education to all of our students. Our diversity is our strength, and we become knowledge builders together, and we learn from one another. We value what every student brings to the table. We learn from one another. Education is a lifelong journey for everyone, for students, teachers, EAs, vice principals, parents, everyone, grandparents even. If this pandemic has taught us anything, is that we have to be prepared and that we're always learning. So as we continue on through our evening, you'll find that there's many programs that are offered here at Lourdes. So part of the programs that we have mean that we have to be creative, we have to be innovative, resilient. We want to be here to help our students grow and learn in a faith-filled and supportive community. So it is our community that brings us strength here at Lourdes. We have a wonderful staff who does what needs to be done to help students achieve at high levels while nurturing their well-being. Our tradition is a tradition of excellence, and we strive to be the best. To be the best, we have a special education team and a student success team who meet weekly to catch student concerns and set students on the right path through supportive counseling and achievable plans. And we too are supported. We are supported by our superintendent in charge of special education, Mrs. Michelle Sawa, and the special education and mental health board program staff. We have an English language learning team, which includes board staff and our superintendent, Mr. Tyrone Dowling, our ESL monitoring teacher, and our ESL teachers. So really what I'm saying is that we all work together. Marshall McLuhan said it takes a village to raise a child. And we want to be that village that accompanies your child through these years of high school, because we know that this is such an precious and important part of their life. Our school community also works with our community partners, such as Immigrant Services and Conestoga College, and through our own unique programs offered at Lourdes. And we've got many of them, such as music and drama and visual arts, food nutrition, transportation, manufacturing, computer sciences, hairstyling and aesthetics. We have co-op programs, and we have district programs too. And those are programs you'll hear about where we link up with our other high schools who have the facilities to offer programs. So our students have an amazing array of opportunities at Lourdes. I haven't even spoken about the compulsory courses or the extracurricular activities at Lourdes, but at the end of this meeting, we'll show a video showing all the super fun activities students can participate in while at Lourdes. And the video will also capture our last year when we were together before the pandemic hit. You'll get a sense of the fun that we have here at Lourdes and all the student leadership opportunities that are available. Now, hopefully you're sitting comfortably at home, and I know we have a lot of information, but I don't want anyone to feel overwhelmed. As mentioned previously, this session is being recorded, and most of the information presented is in the agenda that we sent out in an email today through your elementary schools. And we also have a document called Here I Am, which your child will receive in the near future. So at this time, I'm going to pass over the microphone to Mr. Halford. He is our vice principal here at Our Lady of Lourdes, and he's just going to talk briefly about uniform, attendance, and transportation, because people often have questions about these three items. And here we go.
Well, good evening, everyone. My name is Brian Halford. I'm the vice principal here at Lourdes. It's great that you could all join us this evening. This is our first, I guess, kind of studio performance, I guess you could say, as opposed to just having a regular Teams meeting in our office. So it is actually nice to be out in the main hall of our school. And even though we won't be able to have a full tour like we normally would. Hopefully you'll get a sense from some of the videos and the pictures what the community and what the school looks like, and eventually obviously have an opportunity to come to the school at some point. I'm just going to briefly touch on 3 topics: attendance, uniform, and transportation. As Mrs. Farrell said, sometimes people have questions about that, and we certainly don't expect you to remember everything tonight, but just kind of a brief overview of things with that. And then after that, we're going to show a clip of a grade 8 video that we had produced last year at the end of June that you can have a look at for the grade 8s that came into grade 9 this year. And then we'll also hear from one of our students, Danae Hibitsi, and she'll talk. She'll also spend a few minutes talking to everyone as well. All right, so first of all, attendance at Lourdes. When our students come here, as far as attendance goes, we obviously keep track of attendance, but we like to keep in contact continuously about that, because obviously coming to school and having great attendance is a great recipe for success. We do have an attendance line here at Lourdes, and we give out that number to all the families. And obviously the expectation is that if students can't make it to school on any particular day, that parents will phone and confirm their son or daughter of the absence, and just so that we know, and we like to keep those lines of communication open. If attendance starts to become an issue, then obviously that moves forward and we'll discuss as a team. But for the most part, we like to keep in contact with all of our families and keep on top of attendance as best we can. So, we'll make sure that you have those numbers available so that you can phone and confirm if there are times situations arise where you'd have to do that. The second piece I'd like to talk about just briefly is the uniform. We are a uniform school, and there's always lots of questions with uniform. But in my opinion, it's actually quite simplified in that having a school uniform for a lot of the students, it does make it easy as far as choosing what you have to wear each morning. So that simplifies that. But it does promote a great sense of community here at Lourdes. Also identification. We know the students coming into the building belong to our school. But yeah, it does promote a great sense of community and equity amongst our student population. We have many different options as far as different items of clothing. There's different types of shirts you can order. There's pants. We even had shorts come in last year, and they've now been added as part of our uniform. So you'll get to see those options as we get closer to the time that you'll come to Lourdes. But certainly, if there's any questions about uniform that you'd have, you can certainly get a hold of us. But students, for the most part, once they figure out that it's uniform every day and they have their items, it becomes a very simple thing. So hopefully that won't be too much of an issue for them, but it is different because in elementary school there is no uniform, and so coming into grade 9 is the first time for many of the students that they experience the uniform. The third thing I'll just touch on quickly before we watch the grade 8 video is just on transportation, and we just wanted to make families aware that we do provide transportation in form of school bus for students, but in particular for those families who live in the county, we have a late bus that's offered, and the reason we do that is so that a lot of our students can stay after school and still participate in clubs and activities, and still have that bus available to get them home later in the day. So the bus usually comes after 5 o'clock, closer to 5:30, I think, and then that gives students opportunities if they have practice for teams or they're involved in clubs or events here at the school, and they can still get a ride home there. So those are just a few questions that we usually get in regards to those 3 things. So I just wanted to touch on those quickly before we get into the next part of the presentation. So I guess now we will show the grade 8 video that we produced last June that we showed to the grade 8 students coming in. And then after that, we'll hear from one of our Lourdes students, and then also Mrs. Farrell is going to come back and speak about school departments, and some curriculum opportunities as well. Okay, thank you.
I'm going to spend a bit of time walking you through the different departments here at Lourdes. In elementary school, you're probably familiar with divisions, and that is how schools tend to organize themselves. In elementary school, the divisions are organized by grade, but in secondary schools, we organize our school by subject area. And so at Lourdes, we have 10 different departments, and I'm going to walk you through each one. We also have department heads. So there is a teaching staff member who is designated with a leadership role called a department head. And the department head's role is to support teachers in his or her department with curriculum and also to answer any questions that you may have about the subjects in their department if you would like to reach out and talk to someone. So here we'll begin, and we'll start with our special education department. Our special education department is a strong team of special education resource teachers, or CERTs, and a large number of educational assistants. Similar to elementary school, our EAs support students in class, as well as provide extra help after school and before school as well if needed. Our goal here at Lourdes is inclusivity. We are an inclusive school, which means that if we have students with special needs, that our students are fully integrated into our school community. I myself have a son with special needs. He's the youngest of my 3 sons, and because of this inclusive school model, he was able to attend high school with his brothers, and this is fantastic for socialization of all students at our school. So our 3 CERTs then, they have a number of students assigned to them. They're usually divided by grade. So for our incoming grade 9, so this year's grade 8 class, the CERT that is assigned to you is Mr. Hain. For students coming from Aurora, you may remember Mr. Hain because he used to be at St. Mary's. And you can also see that we have 3 dedicated classrooms. One is the life skills class for students with special needs. Another is a resource room for students who need extra time or a quiet place to write an assessment. And we also have a sensory room for students who need that environment. So whenever you have a child who's struggling, please reach out to our special education resource teachers. Our department head again is Mr. Ben Hain, and he can answer any questions you may have. Our department head for the Arts and Business Department is Mrs. Linda DiPieri. And this is a very unique department in that the arts allow students to express themselves very creatively. We've got a number of different arts programs. So there's visual arts, drama, media art, and music. And our music classes include vocal, guitar, and we also have an instrumental band class. So the music program is alive and strong. We also have extracurricular activities too for students who are interested in the arts, and there's competitions that they can enter as well in terms of drama and music, and so it's a great way to get involved in the school. Our arts department also has what we call a specialist high skills major. And a specialist high skills major is a program which is really made up of a dedicated number of courses that are clustered in a particular area of interest. And when students take all of those courses designated under that specialist high skills major, when they graduate, they get what we call a red seal on their diploma, stating that their electives and their compulsories that were in the SHSM have all been met. And so it's a nice little addition to have on a resume for students who want to get into a particular area post-secondary. The arts is also coupled with the business department at Lourdes. We have a number of courses again, ranging from entrepreneurship, accounting, sports marketing, international business, and business leadership. So for those who are interested in becoming their own boss or to have a dream to start their own business, this is a great way to be introduced to everything that is required. Our physical and health education department head is Mrs. Leanne Rafter. Students have to only take one phys ed course while they're in high school, but we strongly encourage all students to take many, many more classes. They are very fun, they're challenging. You challenge yourself, so you improve upon your own personal best. And they're a safe way to learn new sports, new ways of exercising and staying healthy. So there's plenty of opportunities to experience a wide range of physical activities. So hiking, biking, personal fitness, volleyball, basketball, lacrosse. We even get in wall climbing. Students learn self-defense. So there's a wide range of physical activities that happen in these classrooms. We also have a health component in our courses, and it's really about teaching students how to make good choices and healthy choices, not just now, but as they move into adulthood. So choices around nutrition, personal safety, sexual growth and development, and very importantly, mental health. For students entering into grade 9, I strongly encourage you to take the integrated technologies in grade 9 because the technology department at Lourdes is where innovation and creativity come together. Our department head is Mr. Michael Moore, and as you can see in the photos, also many hands-on courses. So if you're interested in the trades, or maybe you've got future plans to go into engineering, or maybe you even want to open up your own business, you know, in hairstyling or something along those lines. These are great courses to start with. There are a number of specialist high skills majors attached to the technology department. So we have health and wellness SHSM. So that means that if you're interested in graduating with that red seal in health and wellness, The hairstyling and aesthetic courses are some of the courses that lead to that red seal. We also have a manufacturing specialist high skills major and a transportation specialist high skills major. And these pictures here actually were taken, well, the one on the far right was taken just this past first quadmester. And you can see that students are they're building a shower stall and connecting all the wires and plumbing and that sort of thing. So it's really, really important skills to have, even if you have no desire to move on into the trades. These are just skills that it's very handy to know. I should mention as well that we have district programs as well. So say you wanted to continue on in construction and you wanted to take some senior courses in construction, you can attend, say, the construction courses over at Bishop Mac. Just like we have students who come from other high schools that attend our school for manufacturing, we as a board, we all work together to provide the best opportunities for students. The Languages Department at Lourdes welcomes you in multiple languages, and that is because we have a growing English as a second language program at Our Lady of Lourdes. Our language department head is Mrs. Julie Flaherty, and this past year we introduced the foundational literacy course for students who are new to our country and just learning the English language. And so teachers who are teaching these courses have been trained. As well as our English literacy development courses, the teachers have been trained using research-based strategies to help students acquire these language skills as quickly as possible. In addition to our ESL program, we have a French program, Core French, and students can carry on after they finish grade 9 French. They can take grade 10, 11, and 12 French if they're interested and want to pursue French post-secondary. Our English courses are offered in all 3 pathways. So in grade 9, you select between either essential, applied, or academic English. And when you get to grade 11, you start to pick your pathway. So you can select either workplace, college, or university pathway English. In addition, I should mention that we also have our international languages program. So students who take a designated number of courses can receive a certificate. And if this is something that you want to learn more about, just please reach out to Mrs. Flaherty. Our science department head is Mr. James Sagan, and as you can see from the pictures, the science program at Our Lady of Lourdes is very hands-on. We have specialized classrooms that allow students to participate in labs and learn about the world around them through experiments. And as you can see, the students here, they're very active problem solvers, thinking critically about the world around them while in the classroom. Regardless of which pathway you take, whether it's essential, applied, or academic, there is a science program for you in grade 9. And I should mention that as you move into the senior years, Our Lady of Lourdes offers a specialist high skills major in environmental studies. And so if you're got a keen interest in the environment and you want to learn more about it, we also have a strong relationship with Guelph Lake, so lots of outdoor activities as well. So the science program at Lourdes is really exciting, and I know that you'll have lots of fun in grade 9 learning about the different branches of science such as chemistry, biology, and physics. Our mathematics department head at Our Lady of Lourdes is Mrs. Karen Suley, and as you can see that math is not always an individual activity, that it's very collaborative, particularly when solving problems or thinking critically. When you come to school in September, it's important to know that the math program will be de-streamed. So rather than picking either applied or academic math, students will just take mathematics, grade 9 mathematics. We still will offer our ESL essential level math for students who need support learning these skills. And our ESL math students can also move on to grade 9 math once they complete the ESL math if they need to acquire some skills. Our math programs not only are collaborative, but for students who need to visualize just what it is that they're learning, teachers use manipulatives, and Ms. Asuli has put in her slide too that she's encouraging students who want to write the Pascal Math Contest in February that she's a good contact to go and speak to, and you'll learn more about that when you come in September. Our Theology and Social Science and Humanities Department head is Mr. Bill Flaherty. This religion program is a great program for students coming into grade 9 because it helps them transition from grade 8 into grade 9 and feel comfortable in their new home at Lourdes. It's all about building community through our shared beliefs, our uniform faith, and praying together, and again, talking about all the different important messages that come to us through the Bible. There's also the social science and humanities courses. When students get older, in your senior years, there's all sorts of really interesting courses to take, like sociology, anthropology, psychology. We have equity and social justice courses, philosophy, and we also have food nutrition or food and culture courses that are similar to hospitality. So we have a hospitality specialist high skills major at Our Lady of Lourdes, and so if that's something that you're interested in, please reach out to Mr. Flaherty and he can connect you with the teacher in charge of that program, who is Miss Andrea Dickey. Although this is the last slide, our Canadian World Studies Department is a very, very important department. Our department head is Mr. Paul Zuccola. The courses in this department include geography, history, civics, politics, law, economics, and in grade 9, you'll be choosing which pathway of geography you want to take. So you can take either applied or academic. We don't offer the essential level geography, just applied and academic. In grade 10, you can move on to history. And also in grade 10, we offer the civics courses, which are very important because these courses teach you how to be a contributing member of Canadian society and also a global citizen. And so there's a tremendous value in these courses, and when you move on to your senior years, if you're interested in law or politics or world history, there are a number of different really, really interesting courses to select. So that brings us to the end of our department slides. One department that wasn't mentioned was guidance, because Ms. Driscoll has a presentation as well, and so she can talk more about her department in that presentation. So once again, our department heads, their contact information can be found on the agenda. And at any time, if you have any questions, just please reach out to the school. And if you're not sure what the contact information is, no worries, just call the school telephone number and we can connect you with whoever you need to speak with. Okay, Mr. Halford's going to share his screen right now and move on to the next presentation.
Hello again, everyone. I'm going to lead you through the next segment of our presentation this evening. We have a very informative slide deck coming up here in which you can learn a little bit about the school in terms of the support that is available for students. We'll talk a little bit about types of courses that students can take and how to navigate through electives and required courses, etc. And then also talk a little bit about student involvement at the school in terms of clubs and athletics and things that students can get involved in. So I'll just start things off here, and we're going to say welcome to the class of 2025. I know that kind of sounds, we're not used to hearing that far ahead, but yeah, class of 2025. And if you have been a past student of Lourdes or already have children who attend Lourdes, you may have heard the saying, there are no strangers here, only friends you have not met. And so that's something that most of our students know and are very aware of, and we take pride in that here at Lourdes. In this slide, I just wanted to introduce you to some of the incredible support staff that we have here at Lourdes, and we meet on a weekly basis through administration, guidance, special education, as well as some additional staff. So we stay in contact all the time. And so right from our administration team of myself and Mrs. Farrell, Ms. Colleen Driscoll heads up our guidance department and student success. In our special education department, Mr. Ben Hain is our department head. And we also have additional support staff on site. Ms. Nolan is our chaplain, as well as Mr. Malik, our social worker. So we try to provide as much support for the students as we can, and always let students know that they can reach out to any of us, right up to the principal and vice principal, or if it's guidance staff or additional staff, that they're free to reach out for additional support if it's ever needed. All right, so now I would like to take you through a few slides just regarding our semestered system here at Lourdes, as well as the daily schedule, etc. And just before I do that, I'd like to draw your attention to the resource on the screen. This is called Here I Am Getting Ready for High School. And this is going to be available for all grade 8 students and parents. And right now it's going to be available electronically. We also do get physical copies made. I'm not quite sure at this point how many we're getting made, just given our situation, but definitely electronically you'll have access to this document. And Ms. Driscoll will talk a little bit more about this later in the presentation. But basically it will give you information on all of the different courses that are available for students to take and the different pathways that are available for students. So let's take a look at our semestered system here at Lourdes. I know in grade 8 there are rotary classes where students do move around somewhat for some courses, but here at high school in a semestered system, the biggest difference is that students will take 4 courses per semester, so they'll only focus in on taking 4 courses at a time, and those 4 courses will last for 5 months or for 1 semester, and then during semester 2 they'll switch and take a new 4 courses, so that by the end of June of that school year they will have accumulated 8 courses total. Each class in the semestered system is 75 minutes in length, and culminating activities are usually included in the course, more near the end of the course, and many will also have a final exam. Now this is an example of semestered system that we'd be in normal times. Right now we're not adapting to this semestered system because we're trying to minimize movement, so I'll show you in a minute how we're doing things now, but in normal times this is a really good example of how a semestered system would work here at Lourdes. So here's an example of our daily schedule here at Lourdes under normal times. And it's not too confusing at all. The students pick it up very quickly, get used to it. And the fact that they're in a semester and taking only 4 courses at a time, they get very used to the schedule, and it's very easy to follow. So we do have a warning bell in the morning just before 9 o'clock. Someone will come on the announcements and say there are about 5 minutes left till homeroom. So to make your way to that homeroom, that starts at 9. Their first period class will go till 10:15. And in between each class, as you can see, students get a 5-minute travel break. So they may have a snack as they're traveling to their next class, but most of the locations in the school are very, very easy to get to within 2 or 3 minutes. So we find that the 5-minute break time works well between each class. Second period in the morning starts at 10:20, goes to 11:35. Our lunch period is a common lunch, so all students are on lunch break at the same time, and it might seem a little bit short, but it actually is a very good time. It's long enough that students can still do different activities like intramurals or clubs, but it's not too long that it gets stretched out and kids are just kind of waiting to get to their next class. So the lunch is 11:35 to 12:15. And then our 2 periods in the afternoon, that starts up at 12:20. There's a break between 1:35 and 1:40, and then the last period class goes until 2:55, and that's the end of the day at 2:55. So right now I'm going to show you our current quadmestered system here at Lourdes, and all secondary schools in Wellington Catholic have adapted to this model. And it's obviously from a health perspective, we want to minimize movement through the school. We don't want students going in and out of 3 and 4 classes a day and mixing with different cohorts of students. So what we've done is we've taken the semester, which normally had 4 classes, and we've broken that down into a quadmester. So a quadmester will last 10 weeks, and students are taking 2 classes at a time. We have week A and we have week B. So that would be, say, your period 1 and period 2 class. So when students come to school and it's week A, they would take their week A class, and in the example on the screen there would be an English class. So they would take that class for an entire week, and they're in English all day. So from 9 o'clock till 2 o'clock all week, they'll take English. The next week will be week B. They'll switch into their period 2 class, but again, they'll take that same course all day, all week, with the same cohort of students, and that really minimizes the movement around the school. There's no official lunch break. However, we do offer short nutrition breaks, and the teachers will take breaks during the day so that students can eat and just have a break from class. So that happens throughout the day. There's still going to be culminating activities, or maybe even a final test towards the end of the course, but the official final examination period doesn't exist in the current quadmestered schedule. So when you get to the end of the year, taking 2 courses per quad, each student will still end up with 8 courses by the end of the school year. So this is a system we're going to continue to be in right now, but obviously our hope is that at the beginning of the next school year we can get back to our original form of our semestered system, but we'll have to kind of see where we're at in September. But this gives you at least an example of what we're currently doing right now here at Lourdes.
So we'll now be discussing the academic components of high school as the students continue to prepare for their transition in September. When students enter high school, the majority will be working to achieve their Ontario Secondary School Diploma. This involves the completion of 30 credits, including 18 compulsory or required courses, as well as 40 hours of community involvement, which Mr. Halford will speak to later, and the literacy requirement. All students will have the opportunity to meet that through the Ontario Secondary School Literacy Test, or the OSSLT. As noted, the OSSD includes 18 compulsory credits, which are broken down according to the following, as you can see on the screen. Many of these compulsory requirements will be met by the end of grade 10. Please be reassured that the guidance counselors at Our Lady of Lourdes will be reviewing, monitoring, and supporting students' progress towards graduation as they navigate their high school education. All students entering grade 9 will take 8 total credits, including the following 6 compulsory courses: religion, English, French as a second language, geography, mathematics, and science. In addition, they will select 2 elective courses. Most compulsory credits will require students to select a pathway, academic, applied, or locally developed. Courses offered at the open level have course expectations that are appropriate for all students. These courses prepare students for future studies in the subject area and provide a balanced academic program of study and are typically found in our elective courses. Some students will take alternative or non-credit bearing courses, which are K-coded. We work closely with our special education resource teachers as well as parents for those courses. Academic courses focus on essential concepts and use theoretical, abstract applications as well as practical applications. Applied courses also focus on essential concepts, emphasizing more practical and concrete applications. There is typically more time to consolidate and practice skills within class time. Locally developed courses are developed at the board level to meet the education and career preparation needs of students that aren't met within the provincial curriculum. Students will have time to develop literacy, numeracy, problem solving, and communication skills in these courses. Grade 8 teachers will provide recommendations for your child based on their academic strengths and areas for growth. We highly encourage all students and parents to consider these recommendations to ensure the continued success of your child. This snapshot is a summary of the courses students will select in grade 9. Wellington Catholic students will use My Blueprint to complete and submit their course selections. Students new to the board will complete a hard copy option card similar to the one that is showing. Please note the upcoming change to the grade 9 math curriculum beginning in September of 2021. There is now a grade 9 Foundations Math in place of the current applied and academic programs. This course will continue to build on the new elementary curriculum and is intended to prepare and support students in making informed secondary math pathway choices moving into grade 10 and beyond. As students enter high school, they begin to learn yet another new language called course codes. Each subject your child will take will have a 6-character code. The first 3 letters refer to the subject area and course. SNC for science, as in this example, ENG for English, AMG for arts, music, guitar. In the next 3 characters, the first number refers to the grade level with 1 representing grade 9. The letter refers to the course level. O is for open, P for applied, D for academic in the example showing, and so on. The final character is used to flag courses where needed. In most cases, a 1 will be used to signify 1 credit. For physical education, as another example, an F or M is used to denote female or male. As you think long-term, the courses in grades 9 and 10 are building the foundation for pathway courses in grades 11 and 12 that then lead to post-secondary destinations. Locally developed courses lead to workplace pathway courses, applied courses lead to college pathway courses, and academic courses lead to university pathway courses. Within this, we remain flexible to allow students an opportunity to make adjustments as needed. We recognize there are many pathways to accessing post-secondary programs and realizing career goals. We look forward to working with your child as they navigate this throughout high school. As mentioned earlier, students entering grade 9 will have 2 elective choices from a variety of areas. There are numerous options within the arts department, including drama, guitar, instrumental music, vocals, and visual arts. Business includes both Introduction to Business, where students learn about business fundamentals, as well as Information and Communication Technology, where students develop skills with business-related software that can be transferred to many other subject areas. Additional electives can be found in our Technological Education Department with Exploring Technologies. Students can sample a variety of areas in technology, which may include the computer and robotics. It's hands-on and it's very practical. Students can also choose Healthy Active Living, commonly known as phys ed, where they will learn about personal fitness, participate in a variety of traditional and non-traditional activities, and study health-related issues. I do want to mention that all students, as part of their 18 compulsory credits, are required to earn an arts credit as well as a physical education credit. We encourage students to complete those courses in either grade 9 or grade 10. As your child progresses through high school, there are many opportunities to explore and experience unique and specialized programs that may appeal to their interests. Cooperative education is an excellent 2-credit course that allows students to gain practical experience in a career of choice. We also have outstanding programs related to environmental science with our grade 10 Terra program, construction including renovation and home build, hairstyling in conjunction with La Luma Salon and Academy, graphic design through M&T Graphics, as well as dual credit programs and specialist high skills major programs. For more information on our specialized programs, please visit the Wellington Catholic District School Board's website. You will find more information under the link Programs. In early December, our school team held virtual meetings with our grade 8 students, with the Kahoot game and bingo being crowd pleasers. Please ask your child about this. We are looking forward to reconnecting with them in the upcoming weeks to chat about course selections as well as to answer any questions they may have regarding the transition to high school.
All right, so let's talk just quickly about community involvement. A requirement of the OSSD in Ontario is that students need to attain 40 hours of community service or involvement. And typically when students ask questions about how they can get those hours, we usually go by the rule that students are to volunteer for non-profit agencies, or if they are for events that are non-profit or some type of fundraising event or endeavor, as opposed to, you know, just helping out a friend with something. Although that's nice, we like students to really dedicate the hours to some type of non-profit agency or some type of fundraising event where they can really make a difference, or where that agency or event that takes place would really benefit from their help and may even be impossible to be run without the help of volunteers. So that's kind of the direction we take for that involvement. Now 40 hours might seem like a lot, but from grade 9 to grade 12, students are technically in high school for about 40 months. So if students were to even complete 1 hour of community involvement per month, then they would fulfill that requirement very easily. Sometimes students leave it to the last second, and you know, in grade 12 there's only a few months to go before graduation, and sometimes students can be scrambling to finish 10 or 20 or 30 hours in that time, and that's never a good thing. So just to bring that to your attention now, that if students take those hours and fulfill the hours just bit by bit as they go along through grade 9, grade 10, grade 11, then they'll find that it won't be a burden at all, particularly when they get towards the end of grade 12 and close to graduation. All right, so let's move to one of the best parts of the presentation, and that's about students getting involved here at school. And I love the way that this particular slide has been framed. Life is not a spectator sport, so really try to get involved when you come to high school. So here at Lourdes, we have a large variety of different activities that students can get involved in, whether it's through athletics or through the arts. We know that students have already been participating in activities in elementary, and they'll probably continue doing those as they go into high school, things that they're comfortable with. But we also encourage students to take on new challenges or maybe new things that they might find an interest in. I know aside from all the sports that we offer, we also have a after-school fitness club. Here at Lourdes, we have lots of clubs through drama and art and culture. We offer an excellent robotics program at Lourdes, and there's a lot of other social justice initiatives that students can get involved in as well. So there are plenty of things that students can sign up for or get involved in, and that will really help them to meet new people, meet new friends, and really make the high school experience a lot more enjoyable. So we certainly really encourage all students to get involved in something at school, and I'm sure that they'll really enjoy that as the years go along for them. So let's move into the final portion here of our slide presentation. And I'll just talk a little bit about registration process. So students who are currently attending our family of schools in Wellington Catholic will already have a My Blueprint page set up for them, and that's basically an online portal for looking at all career pathways and signing up for courses and things like that. So we encourage families to continue to review and update the individual pathway plans through My Blueprint, and the registration process will take place through this portal. So students can access, they just use their board login, they can get right into My Blueprint, and they'll actually end up selecting their courses right through My Blueprint at this time. We're going to have some virtual visits and so on, as you heard previously, with the schools for the course selections, but that's how the registration process is going to work right now, online, everything through My Blueprint at this time. Taking a look at course selection and registration. So when we get to that point where courses are due, as far as submission, really what's going to happen is students are going to select and submit all the courses through My Blueprint, as I mentioned in the previous slide. There is a page on there called the sign-off page, so you should print that out. And we know that in grade 9, there are 6 compulsory courses that students must take. That's going to leave 2 elective choices, so students should write down those 2 additional elective choices on that sheet, and then just look it over again, make sure everything is correct, and then fill out all the forms in the registration package. It's always a good idea to go back and double check these things as you write them down. You want to make sure that you've selected the courses that you actually want. And so once you review that and have all those forms filled out, right now we have the due date set at February 12th. And on February 12th, you are to return to your grade 8 teacher all the forms in the registration package. Any students and families who are tuning in tonight with us who currently do not attend one of our schools on our board but are still interested in registering at Lourdes, we do have a registration package available from the school, so simply give the school a call. We can arrange a pickup time for you to come by and get that physical registration package, a hard copy, and you can take that home. You can fill out all the required paperwork, which also includes the option card. And once that's all filled out, then we can get that returned to the school at some point through an appointment. So you can either call the school, 836-2170. The extension is there on the slide. And we've also included Mrs. Farrell's and my email there. If you'd like to email us, we can certainly also get a package out to you electronically, if that's easier, and you can print out those sheets at home, fill them out, scan them, and then send them back to us. And that is for families who are currently not within our board at this time. Okay, so that wraps up this portion of our slide presentation. So thank you for tuning into this segment. I know it's a lot of information to take in all at once, but don't worry if you have any questions involving registration or courses or anything, you can certainly get a hold of us at the school and we can help you through that. But this at least gives you an idea of how a lot of the processes work. So thank you again for your attention. We're really looking forward to all of our new students coming in September and joining our Crusader family. And as I mentioned before, please reach out to us by any means, whether it's phone. You can follow us on Twitter. Our handle is there on the screen. Any type of email. If you have any questions regarding the registration process or just any general questions about Lourdes or high school life, whatever it might be, please feel free to reach out to us at any time. All right, thank you very much.
Good evening, dear parents. My name is Danai Tiptiski. I go to Our Lady of Lourdes Catholic High School. I'm currently in grade 12. I remember when I first visited Our Lady of Lourdes, it gave me a sense of home. My classmates were extremely nice and welcoming, and most importantly, they were understanding. When I took ESLC in grade 9 with Miss Pena, the class helped me to improve my English. At the time, I hated it how we had quiz every week for vocabulary, but looking back, those difficult words seem easy now. As you may already know, ESL counts toward your diploma. ሓደ ተምሃራይ 30 ክሬዲት ክህልዎ ኣለዎ ካብ ሃይ ስኩል ግራጁዌት ገበር ሕጂ ESL ሓንቲ ወሲድካ ሓንቲ ክሬዲት ሕሰበልካ ሓሙሽተ ተወሲድካ ሓሙሽተ ክሬዲት ሕሰበልካ ኣነ ሕጂ ሲንዲ ወሲደ ሲ ወሲደ ቀዳመይቲ ሴምስተር and ኣብ grade 9 ዲ ወሲደ ካልኣይቲ ሴምስተር ኣብ ሳመር ስኩል ሽዑ grade 9 English ወሲደ academic ኣብ grade 10 ሽዑ ተመለስና grade 10 academic ሚሊዮን ተማሃሮ ናይ ዛሊ ምሶም ወሲደ ክላሳት ኣብቲ ግዜ ጸሎ ነይረ ESL ኮርስ ላይ ደሎ ሆነት ያምህር ብዙ ተባይስ ያማን ኣውፅን ካብ ዝክላሳት ኣይልንን እዩ ናይ elementary school መምሃራን ኣይልክ ሂሎም እዮም ኣይቱ ንገለጋ ነይረ ምንያቱ መጻየ ዘባላሽ ወለይ ሕማቅ ዝገብረለይ መስልኒ ግን ሓንቲ ያሰይንን ሜይ ብሓጊዝኒ ኸማን ምክንያቱ መሓዝ ዝገብር ከይልሃቦ ኣብ grade 12 ሕጂ ኣነ ዩኒቨርሲቲ ወስድ ኣለሁ ፅቡቅ ክላሳት ከይድ ኣለሁ ESL ኣይሃሰይካን ንሓደጋ ክላሳት ክወስዶ ይሕግዘካ ኸማን ዝኾነ ሕተት ሃሊኩም ብዛዕባ ነዚ ትምህርትና ሓበሻ ብሕልፍ ተኮይንኩም ነዚኣ ምርሕተትዋ እንደናይት ክዛረባ ደለለኹ ይገለበልዋ እንደን ናባይ ኮኔክት ትገብረኩም እያ እቲ ዝኾነ ተኮይና ሓግዘኩም ክፍትኒ ዝኾነ ተኾነ ግን ብሩኽ ለይቲ ብሩኽ መዓልቲ
We really appreciate Danate taking the time to create that video for us. Tigrinya is one of those languages that you can't find in Google Translate, so it's always great when we can get our students to help talk about their experiences here. All right, so we have some questions on our Padlet. Some I might defer to some of our department heads. So I'm just going to go from the far left to the far right. And the one question is about course selection. And the question asks, what do we need to know about the new selections available in grade 9 math and English? So I think it's the grade 9 math that we want to focus on. And I believe Mrs. Suley is on our Teams meeting. I'm wondering, Mrs. Suley, if you can talk to that.
Yes, I can answer that. So the grade 9 math will be de-streamed as of the fall 2021. So it will be a foundations math. That's replacing the academic and the applied level math. And then there will still be a locally developed grade 9 math offered. So generally the locally developed math course is for students who are working below a grade 7 level. Often grade 6, grade 7 level students are those who are modified for significantly in grade 7 and 8 will take that locally developed math. And then all the others will select our new foundations math.
Great, thank you, Mrs. Suley. And this is just affecting the math course, or the math courses, the previous applied and academic math. So the next question is, do you have to be Catholic to go to the school? And no, you do not need to be Catholic to come to Lourdes. All Catholic high schools in the province of Ontario, the publicly funded high schools, that is, are open access to all students. So definitely, if you have an interest in coming to Lourdes, then you're more than welcome to be here. And we really, really appreciate having students come here and be part of our community. So spread the news to everyone you know that we are open access, our doors are open to all students. The next question, how many students attend Lourdes? So we usually are around the 700 range in September, and then the numbers usually drop for the second semester because we have many grade 12 students come in or come back for a semester. And so usually this time of year we're usually between 650, 675 something like that. And then at the beginning of the school year, numbers are higher. How many elementary schools are students coming from? Our family of schools, there are 5 elementary schools currently in our family of schools. So we have St. Mary's Elora, we have St. Francis, we have some students from Sacred Heart. Sacred Heart students can choose between Our Lady of Lourdes and St. James. We have St. Peter's, and then we also have St. Joseph just around the corner. And singing lessons. Do we have singing lessons here at Lourdes? Yes, but I'm going to ask Mrs. DiPieri to talk about that, as that would be in her department.
Good evening, everyone. Yes, your question is whether we have singing lessons. We do have a vocals course that's offered in grade 9, 10, 11, and 12. And the course code for that is AMV. And for grade 9, you would select the 101.
And I have to add that when the students in the vocal class are practicing in the front foyer, because Mrs. Kane likes to bring them into the front foyer because of the acoustics here, when I hear them singing from my office, I have to come out. It's like a choir of angels. It's just beautiful. And you'll see some of the students singing if you hang on at the end to watch the video. All right, so there is an IB program question. I'm going to ask Mr. Driscoll to answer that one.
With regards to the IB program and the courses that need to be taken, for the most part, they can follow as per any other grade 9 student. I do know that entering grade 10, there is something that we would look at with regards to ensuring they have their math courses taken so they can fit in the IB courses, but we would work with those students individually that are interested in the IB program. So by all means, please feel free to send me an email, and then I can send you even more specific information regarding this.
Thank you, Ms. Driscoll. And then we have another math question. I'll take the first part of it, and then I'll ask Ms. Suley to answer the second part. So the decision to do stream mathematics was a provincial decision, so it was made by the Ministry of Education. And then the second part of the question is, are mathematics beyond grade 9 specialized or streamed? So I'll let you answer that, Mrs. Suley.
With the current curriculum that we are working with, beyond grade 9, they are streamed. So grade 10, we would continue in the academic and applied level and locally developed. And then grade 11, there's a choice between university, college, a mixed level, and a workplace math. With our new de-streamed grade 9 happening in the fall, foundations math, I'm anticipating there may be some changes for that cohort entering, perhaps some changes to our grade 10 curriculum following that. But at this time, I have not heard anything. Mrs. Farrell, I'm not sure if you would have any more information, if there's been talk about further changes to the curriculum.
At this time, we have not heard of any further changes. We do know that the ministry is moving ahead with their plan to de-stream for the fall. That's all we have right now. Okay, I've got a question that was added to share the contact information for Mrs. Driscoll. So Mrs. Driscoll, if you wouldn't mind coming back on. I do know Mrs. Driscoll's email address is in the agenda pamphlet that was on the email, but just in case, maybe she can give you her phone extension here at the school as well, so you can leave a phone call.
Okay, I just added it into the Padlet. It's in red underneath the question, and I'll add my phone number and extension as well. Okay.
Yeah, that's great. That's wonderful. And I think that's all the questions, unless anyone has any other questions. I just can actually, even if you just start typing, I can see the box appear. But I think it looks like everybody's pretty much either gone to sleep or they're checking out for the night. But don't check out just yet, because we do have a final video to show you Again, this was from all our events from last year. Some are still photos, and some there's little bits of video in there as well. But really to give you a sense of the feel of Our Lady of Lourdes. Now I know we're all in this crazy lockdown and pandemic, and but you know there's hope on the horizon, and we certainly hope that before you are too far into your high school careers, that we will have a return to normal again. Anyway, thank you so much for joining us tonight. Thank you to all the department heads and our support staff, our social worker and chaplain and everyone else who was able to join us here tonight. And we'll leave you with this video. And once again, if you have any questions, just please call the school and we will get back to you. All right. Have a great evening, everyone. Thanks for joining us.
Take it like that, y'all. One up this time. Right foot, let's go. Left foot, let's go. Turn it out. To the left.
Class of 2020 Crusaders. I'm Kevin Martinez, your Class of 2020 valedictorian. I'm thankful and honored to represent our graduating class. High school has been such a long ride. We have all made such wonderful relationships and a countless amount of memories, all the while working towards one goal, graduation. Now that we've made it and accomplished this goal, it's time to focus on our future. To quote Ari Penkovici, graduation is only a concept. In real life, every day you graduate. Graduation is a process that goes on until the last day of your life. If you can grasp that, you'll make a difference. Whether that be going to university or college, going into the trades, taking some time off, or running a victory lap at Lourdes, it's time to graduate from our next goal. I've learned a countless amount of lessons during my time at Lourdes, but I want us to focus on 3 important takeaways. Number 1, keep moving forward and never give up on what's ahead of you. Number 2, seize every opportunity and never pass up on a chance to grow. Number 3, be true to yourself and never lose track of your values and who you are inside. To the Class of 2020 Crusaders, this is our moment. Here's to the memories of the past and the prospect of a bright future.
We can think of no one more deserving of this award, especially as we begin Treaties Recognition Week. We hope your time at Lourdes, Gary, will bring fond memories years from now, and we are so happy of our trajectories that crossed. Congratulations, Gary, from our Lady of Lourdes athletes.